Well, hello guys, so here's another eBay VCR that I just bought. So I'm going to unbox this right now. The mechanism works, but the display does not light on. So it does work. At least the picture works, and the mechanism, which is the K mechanism, works. Well, right now we are on the next day, and what actually happened yesterday after I unboxed the VCR, well, quite a lot of stuff happened. I've tested the VCR and I found out that it is not working as good as I was hoping it will be. But well, at least the most important is there. The video does work and the mechanism works, so the K mechanism. But well, this VCR had two issues, and one of them it was a mechanical issue. I will explain just later, and I actually repaired it. And the other issue is here on the front. The VFD display does not light on. It's totally dead. So there should be a VFD display there that turns on, but it's totally dark. It's not lighting on. So that kinda does suck. But yeah, as I said, at least the mechanism works. And well, the problem was when I did fast forward or rewind and then stop, the mechanism jammed. And this is a common issue on this Panasonic K mechanism. And what causes this is a little plastic piece on the shaft of the loading motor. So there was actually the loading motor on this mechanism. It drives a worm gear, which you will see in this video. And between the shaft of the loading motor drives a plastic piece which drives the worm gear, so it's not directly the worm gear attached on the motor. And that plastic piece I'm talking about, that one cracks on this mechanism, and that is a common issue. And that happened on this mechanism, so on this VCR. So when I did fast forward and stop, the mechanism at this point, it was in a position where it has to force. And so the shaft of the motor basically slipped against the plastic. So what I did is I glued that plastic piece against the motor's metal shaft, and now it's working again. So all that said, now we should review the machine. So it has a dead display, but the VCR does work perfectly. Besides that, I have not tested the remote. It is a RCA remote that came with it. It is not the original remote, so this isn't really a lot of interest. And there is also a RCA cable that came with it. So some sellers provide RCA cables, but I already have quite a lot of them. Well, also after I noticed the issues with this VCR, I contacted the eBay seller and I told him, hey, I bought this VCR and it was said to be perfectly working, and well, it has those issues, so can you please give me a partial refund for the VCR? And because I don't want to return it. And well, he refunded me $100 US on the total price, which is more than half. And so this is very fair, very reasonable what he did. And I did not think he would refund me that much. And so I'm happy that he did that. So I have the VCR does what I wanted it to do basically. And only that sucks that this display does not work. So this might be a power supply problem, but I don't know if this is something I can fix, but I've never fixed such thing. But yeah, I'm happy with the VCR I have now. So with that refund, that's very fair. And well, I don't have my other K deck anymore. My Panasonic NV-HD100, I sold that one. So my idea was to sell that one that I already had, so I can buy this one. And I wanted this one because it's better. The bottom side on this VCR is visible, so that's one reason why I bought it. And also this VCR is hi-fi, while the other one was not. And this one is just more high-end overall. It has a George shuttle, so you can basically do some editing with this VCR. So you can play frame by frame in the two directions. And so that's cool. And well, I sold the other for just a little bit over the price that I had paid it, so I did not lose any money for the other VCR. I sold it on eBay. So this one was just a little more expensive, but with that $100 discount, it is actually I did not lose any money like related to the original purchase of the NV-HD100. So yeah, this VCR is a model number NV-HD100PX. So the letters PX are not written on the front, but they are on the back. Model number NV-HD100PX, and this is a pretty rare VCR, and it's quite special. So basically, what it is, it's like a European model VCR, but converted into a American VCR, basically. So yeah, what it does is the model number NV-HD100 is like a European model, and just everything that was designed for European VCR was replaced by stuff for an American VCR, basically. So the European models have European coaxial cables and have the European AV plug instead of that. So just like my Mitsubishi HS812, which I have reviewed, and of course it has a European power plug. But I don't know if that port is different, but just a different plug. And well, this one works on the voltage will work in Europe. This one 110, 120, 220, 240, 50, 60 hertz. And so one major difference between this VCR and the NV-SD300 is that the other one was a multi-system VCR, so it could be used everywhere in the world. Like it could be used in Europe, and the other VCR had normal AV plugs, but it had European coaxial inputs, basically, and well, this one has American coaxial plugs. And so now I think we should see the inside of this VCR, which is very interesting, and besides the mechanism is quite a lot different from the other Panasonic K-Deck VCR that I had. And also, yeah, this VCR has LEDs there, so you see these light up. So I just turn it off, and when you turn it on, it does a beep sound. And when you press the buttons, pretty special. My other Panasonic VCR did not do that. So here's the inside of this awesome Panasonic VCR. Well, at least it's awesome to me, because this is my favorite VHS mechanism in my collection. So yeah, the two VCRs that I recently bought are now my favorite VCRs in my collection. So my favorite VCR is now this Sony Hi8 VCR, because this one is very special, very rare. I think the cat just came in the basement. Just heard it. Yeah, exactly, it's right there. And the inside of this VCR looks very nice. And as I said, it's quite different from my other Panasonic. So of course I don't have the NV-SD300 anymore, so I cannot do a comparison. But I will just talk about it. The other Panasonic had everything on the same board basically, and it was on the bottom side, and it had some extra boards mounted on the main board basically, and so if you want to see, you can like compare it by watching my other video about that Panasonic K-Deck, the other one. And well, this VCR has a separate power supply which is there, and the main board is here on the right side, and there are some other boards mounted on it just below it. We can see one of them is here, and I think that's the tuner board. And at the back you have another board which is like the video board. This is where the AV plugs are mounted. And then you have another board which is on the front, and this one has the control panel and the VFD display mounted on it. And then there is another board which is on the bottom side, just under the mechanism. It's attached, it's screwed on the mechanism. Well, yesterday what I did is to access the loading motor on the bottom side, I lifted the deck out of there, because even though this VCR has a bottom cover that gives access to the bottom of the mechanism, well, the parts are like hard to access anyway. I'll show you that why later. And yeah, I removed the front cover, and I unplugged all the connectors from there, and also some from the under the circuit board. And one thing that I noticed and that I really like on this VCR is that it's basically serviceable. Everything that's connected has connectors, so no soldering required. So you see all the connections between the VCR, the parts that are mounted on the VCR deck and the electronic board. They all have connectors, just like this and this and this. So every single thing, just pull it off, and you can take everything apart basically. So that is very nice. So this one here is for connecting the capstan motor on the bottom side. And so now we will take a look at the mechanism, which is very beautiful. So now I just press play, and it's turning without a problem. Fast forward. So it's quite an average speed for a VCR from 1993, because that's the manufacturing date. So the NV-HD100 is probably like 1 or 2 years later. I'm guessing 94, the other one. Construction is different. It just doesn't look it's just not built the same way at all, the other Panasonic that I had. And now I will press stop, and this is when the mechanism was jamming. So it was when I pressed stop, and now you can see it works with no problem. Now it's rewinding. I'll let it rewind to the beginning. So now it slows down because it's near the beginning. And this VCR has an auto head leader, which is just here. And the plastic piece that the auto head leader is mounted on, it looks quite different from the other, the NV-HD100. So it's not the same shape. And the auto head leader, the foam, it seems to be still in good condition, so I will let it there. So for the screen, I don't know if this is a common problem on VCRs and on this particular model. Now we will eject. So, in my opinion, this is a very beautiful mechanism. So it's made of aluminum die-cast, just like the Panasonic G mechanism. And also the mechanism in this Philips VCR with a Panasonic mechanism, it's made of the same material too. And also same thing for the mechanism in this Mitsubishi VCR here. So I think it's pretty nice looking. I think this material for VCR decks, just when you see that, just looks like a solid deck. And like I talked about in the video about the other VCR with the same mechanism, is this little arm here. So the arm that brings the tape by the pitch roller and capstan is located right next to the right tape guide, instead of being located there where the capstan will usually be in a VCR that does not have the elevator gear like that, pitch roller that goes down. So this is the only VCR that I have that has a mechanism like that. And if you let the tape there and just put your finger there, because on this VCR it is the tape start and end sensor, that the infrared sensor that detects the insertion of the tape. So when the tape is placed there, you see it will go in by itself. So this is pretty interesting, and there are quite a lot of VCRs that have something that work like that, and that can like the mechanism that sets off using this sensor. I think the cat is like trying to enter the box of the VCR, which has quite a lot of paper in it. So yeah, these boxes, they are quite interesting for cats. So there you have the VCR with the bottom cover removed, and the mechanism is like partially hidden by this plastic. But yeah, I expected that. I knew that it will be like that. At least the most interesting of the mechanism is visible, which is there and there. So you see why it was not accessible, and why I had to lift the deck out of there. And there you have the circuit board that I was talking about, and it's screwed on the bottom side of the deck. So that circuit board plugs everything that is in there, and you just unscrew it and lift it off, and everything unplugs by itself. So there you have the mode switch. It has a connector, and it just unplugs by itself when you lift the board off. So this is a very good conception. And there's the worm gear, and under it there is the part that is cracked and that I glued. And this was easily accessible once you have removed all that. So this is a very good conception, Panasonic. And you also have other things. The loading motor is connected there, that unplugs too, and you have like the sensors for the tape rotation that are on there. They are optical sensors that are used for that. And on this mechanism you have a toothed belt for the capstan motor mechanism that goes from the capstan motor to the idler here. So some some higher end versions of the G mechanism have that. Mine has a rubber belt, but here you have a toothed belt, which is pretty cool. And the mechanism won't work if it's upside down, so I have to place it sideways. Well, now it's placed sideways, and now that's very interesting. You can see the bottom side in action, and I've seen a few videos on YouTube that shows the bottom side of a Panasonic K mechanism. I've seen videos on the Dr. Cassette's channel, which I recommend to see these videos. He did 3 videos of repairing 3 different SVHS VCR models with this mechanism, models that exist only in Europe. Dr. Cassette, he is from Germany, and so one of them I think had like more similar to my Panasonic, my other one. It had a big circuit board on the bottom side, and the 2 others I think had something like that, and they also had the plastic layer covering this. So I think this is going to I don't remember seeing any video on YouTube of the mechanism in action seen from the bottom side. So this is pretty interesting. Now let's insert this. So this is beautiful for me. I love it, and this is why I bought this VCR instead of the other one. Now it's playing. Beautiful, the bottom side of this mechanism. You can see the capstan motor turning with the toothed belt. And there you have the loading motor, and it drives a gear, and there is a cam gear that is you can see part of it there, and you can see part of it from the top side too. And then you have a sliding plate. It's under this circuit board and plastic, but you could see it moving a little bit. So the sliding plate. So it's similar to quite a lot of VCRs that have something like that, a sliding plate like that. But this one just very interesting, in my opinion. Now pause. And I'm turning the jog. So playing frame by frame. So yeah, this is a pretty high-end VCR for it not being a SVHS, at least. Now I'm turning it fast, and it's just playing backwards. Now I'm turning the shutter like that, the wheel a little bit, and it goes in slow motion on different speeds. Then it's playing backwards, and you have different speeds. So my other KDEC VCR did not have that. This is absolutely beautiful. It does what I wanted it to do, the VCR. I can see the mechanism in action, and so I don't regret buying this one, even though the display does not work. That's the only issue that it has now. I don't know how much this will be durable, the repair that I did on this, but I hope it's gonna last, and if it doesn't, I can still take it apart again and add some glue. When I noticed this wasn't clipped back correctly. So there we go. Now let's see that again. Absolutely beautiful. So you could see that sliding plate sliding. Now close up of this loading motor. I think it loads slightly faster than my NV-HD300. The bottom side of the KDEC in action, that's beautiful. My favorite mechanism. So I just insert it and press eject. And so now I will just plug it to the TV to let you see that the video works. And there's one thing I did not mention. You see this black grease on the top of the gear. This is due to like me when I was manually turning the loading motor, because when it was jammed, I tried to turn it manually to try to unjam it. Because well, as I explained, basically the plastic piece was slipping against the motor shaft because it was forcing, and I tried to turn it like that, and so my finger got grease on it, and I hit the gear with it. And how did I unjam it is then that I pushed this sliding plate when it was jamming, so I helped the motor to force, and so that made it unjam when I press stop after rewinding, basically. Well, now the VCR is plugged on the TV, and I will insert the tape to let you see that the video works on this VCR. But before that, I wanted to mention you something that I like on this VCR, and that I like on VCRs to have these functions, and this VCR has them. So here you have a tape speed button, SP, SLP, and So yeah, you can access the tape speed control without using the remote, and you can access the AV input using this channel button. So now it's on AV, and yeah, you can do that without the remote. I think all VCRs should have that, but this one has it, so this is cool. And you can see here black screen. So this VCR does not produce a blue screen nor OSD. So this VCR does not have OSD, so it's not going to it will not display on the screen the functions like play, fast forward, rewind, or the channels. And so this is pretty cool. The VFD display will probably display like all the functions in the AV and the tape speed. So I cannot know whether it's on a SP or SLP now because of the screen that is not turning on. In Canada, you can hear what the drum is doing. Is doing that only on stop mode, and I've seen other Panasonic VCR do something like that. I don't know if this is a defect, but this is nothing to worry about. So what's on the tape? A video film with a Panasonic mini DV camcorder, and then transferred to a VHS, and I just filmed the Toshiba VCR, which is stored here right now. The post picture on this Panasonic VCR is not, you can see it's not really good at the moment. Maybe that's due to the recording being done with a 2-head VCR, because I use this Toshiba VCR that is shown there, and it's only a 2-head VCR, so I don't know if it will have a better picture on a hi-fi tape. I don't think that's the tracking. So if I hold it, it does that. So I don't know if the channel buttons are used for the tracking or not. No slow motion, and if it's on play and you turn this, now it will stay on fast forward mode. But if you press pause, there you can access all the different speeds, which is a pretty cool high-end function. Pretty cool. It's playing on reverse with no sound, unfortunately. So unfortunately, VCRs cannot play. I don't think there is any VCRs that can play different speeds and reverse with the sound. Well, actually, I think yes, there is like one VCR that my friend Zachary has, and it's like a Mitsubishi medical VCR that he has, and that one I think it can play different speeds and reverse with the sound. So that is pretty interesting. And now I think we will try to play a hi-fi tape to see if the post picture will be better. But you can see at least it does work. So this is very good. So now you have a Back to the Future recorded on a VHS hi-fi tape, and now the post picture is perfectly clear. So if the tape is recorded on if the tape is recorded with like 4-head, it's gonna be good. So as you can see, this is very similar to what we have on this quite high-end JVC SVHS VCR. So this is not like a top-of-the-line VCR, not something that valuable, but it's a pretty high-end VCR from that time, 1999. And while this Panasonic is I think it's a very rare VCR. So there was only one of them for sale on eBay. So now enough of that. Just show you the tape mechanism on this angle when ejecting. One thing that I wanted to add is that this VCR here was already for sale on eBay when I bought my other codec, the NV-HD100. And this was almost a year ago. It was in August 2018 that I bought that VCR. And this one was already for sale before that, so maybe it's been a year or more that this VCR was for sale on eBay. And this is actually the first VCR I've seen in North America that has the K-deck, and so that's how I discovered that the K mechanism exists in North America, because before that I thought that this mechanism only existed in Europe and Japan, because I had only seen online VCRs from these areas that have this mechanism, and so I saw that eBay ad, and so I've seen that there were some very rare VCRs in North America with this mechanism, including this one here. This must be like a very rare model, NV-HD100PX. And well, I am quite surprised that this VCR did not sell before earlier, because well, when I posted my NV-SD300 on eBay for sale, so I could buy this one, it sold in less than a week after I posted it. So that's pretty awesome that I could sell the other one, and I'm surprised this one did not sell before. And maybe the NV-SD300 was more wanted because of the multi-system function. And well, me, I prefer to have this one because yeah, the bottom side is visible and the stereo is it's more interesting for me. It's even more interesting for me than the other one. But this one is not a multi-system. Here on the head drum, all around it, there is a black line of tape dirt, and I cleaned the drum, but it did not go off. So this does not affect the playback because it's not on the heads themselves. You see the heads are these little pieces there, black pieces. This is just the metal drum, so this does not affect the playback in any way.